You're listening to WRIR LP 97.3 FM Richmond Independent Radio. Oh, yeah. So, it's time to get crazy tonight. We're going to have another interview tonight. Yeah, it's. I've been trying to get this guy in here for a while. It didn't work a year or so ago. And timelines just didn't reach out. But here we are now, happened in 2021, and it's going to be pretty amazing. I will have none other than HinduPez in here tonight, the awesome industrial noise, digital noise, electronic artist based out of Norfolk, Virginia. He'll be talking about his new EP that came out in January and how it's a trilogy. There'll be 2 more EPs. So we'll be talking about that tonight and be playing some of his new stuff from this most recent EP. You're listening to WRIR LP 97.3 FM Richmond Independent Radio. Oh, yeah. All right, and without no further ado... Oh, let's make sure I don't blow this thing out. This I don't know, this mic's gotten way louder. Last time I did an interview, that was just last week, with God Hates Unicorns. I'm still trying to figure out why he does, but hopefully when their album comes out on Valentine's Day, we'll all figure it out.
He doesn't like anomalies.
Yeah.
That's the entire thing. God's like, a unicorn? No, I can't have that. I can't have that.
Maybe it's the horn on his head. It scares him.
So. I had a guy in here once with horn. That turned out bad for me.
Yeah, exactly. But this is just one horn. It should be okay, right? So anyway, how are you doing there, Gabe?
I'm good. It's been a busy month and change. And I've done more press for this than probably anything, so it's been a nice change to. You make a record because you make it because you want to make it. You don't make it for validation. So this is kind of nice that people are like, hey, this thing you did, we don't hate it. So
wait, what? People hated the other stuff?
Oh yeah,
that's so mean.
I should go on like a Instagram stories rant and just like cut out people's names and just have the rejection emails I have over the years from venues being like, oh yeah, no. We're not doing that. The time has changed when you like send a booking email and somebody goes, well, you only have this many followers on Facebook, so we can't book you. Like, what? That matters? I thought that maybe something, someone being good mattered, but hey, what do I know?
So, I've known you for quite a long time.
20 years, probably.
Yeah. And I've done shows with you in several other prior bands, which I think Synthetic Nightmare, Myotis, Proceed the Eye, and Gothic Lizard.
Yeah.
And you had done your, what was that special event called?
I did Masters of Machines Festival.
That's it.
Summer of 2019.
2019. Yeah, Seems like it was a long time ago, but
2019. Yeah, the debacle of 2020 has like that. Every day of that was like a year.
Yeah,
so yeah. Like the grays that you didn't have before, you definitely are graying now.
Yeah. Once again, when people asked me that question, what was the worst year of life? And I said 2020, and they're like, no, that's not a legit answer.
Oh, it's a legit answer.
No. I said it had nothing to do with the pandemic. I said that was everything else. That was just the icing on the cake. It was it was right. You're right. It was everything else.
It's like you're in a house that's flooding, and you're like, okay, this can't get worse. And there's one wire above your head that just slowly is slipping out of socket and coming to you. Like, oh, it can get worse. Cool.
Yeah. And if you're like that time in New Jersey when it got flooded and stuff, and people stepped outside and they saw sharks in their yard. Well, that's not something you see in Jersey, right? A bunch of sharks in your yard. Okay,
I was just gonna go to the boardwalk. I got sharks in my yard.
It was like, man, I knew I had problems with the loan sharks, but this has gotten ridiculous. But
the mob's not even sending guys anymore; they're sending real sharks.
Yeah.
Terrible.
They really, instead of breaking your legs, we're going to just take one off and keep it. And then when you give us the money back, we give you the leg back.
Yeah, we're not sewing it on, though. You can just have it.
Yeah, you can just have it.
Frozen.
the decaying leg.
Wrapped in saran wrap.
Oh,
we have gone off the rails already.
Yeah.
Sorry, listeners.
Well, being that it's taken so long to actually do this interview, yeah, we have to make sure it's super memorable. I know I had seen you spin recently, of course, at Dusk Goth Night in Norfolk, Virginia, and at the 37th and Zinn, and as DJ who? I'm sorry, who?
Yeah,
no,
that's the joke. That's what people don't get. Yeah. When I go do a gig somewhere, they're like, oh. They don't understand that it's a joke. trying to remove the ego.
I mean, I think with the question mark, it should have really gave it away. But I mean, maybe people don't get sarcasm.
Well, you know, like it's so stupid. Like it's so stupid when you meet someone and like, I'm in an industrial band. What's it called? And it's got like numbers and symbols
and a barcode.
And you're like, can you not? Can you let the music do the talking and not, you know?
Were you trying to make the score to the movie Pi, and it just didn't work out? Yeah, Pi too. Don't get it confused with American Pie.
Only Prince can have a symbol. Yeah, so you were at Goth Night anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was nice to actually see you spinning again, and
it's been a while. Yeah.
And as I've always tell people, if you go see DJ Who, if you see him spin, expect to hear stuff that people would be afraid to play. Don't worry, if you ask for it and he has it, he'll play it.
Yeah. It's a different thing because I came up, I think my first DJ gig was 2001. I came to Virginia in 2000, and that was like the tail end of vinyl when people were just kind of CD scratchers were around. And, and then we moved to laptops where suddenly everyone's a DJ, which is just stupid. And I love going to a club, someone's got like a really nice controller and they're just crossfading. Like, that's not DJing. That's not...
Yeah. You got to blend and mix.
But the thing is, now that it's kind of become oversaturated, it's like you really have to do the work. You need to show up and do the thing and really do it better than everybody else. And I don't mean that in a competitive sense, but just like, if you're going to do it, if you're going to spend money on gear, like, read the manual, try.
Wait, they make manuals? I'm just kidding.
It's just lazy. It's especially in the goth scene. You see all these people that are like, I spent $4,000 on my outfit and I forgot to learn how to DJ, but I have a controller that's $2,000. Like, what? Go home, don't DJ, practice. You know what I mean? Because I spent like a year and a half in the room by myself learning gear before I ever did a gig. Do the work. I wouldn't go do a gig as a guitar player without knowing the basics.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a grumpy old man.
So you've been, has it really been since 2004, or has it been sooner than that?
Yeah, I started the precursor to HP, and even some of the stuff I started writing was 03. I say 04 because that was the first release was 04, but really, you want to get technical, it's 03. So that's scary.
Yeah. So I was going to say, I thought it was a little sooner than that, but...
It's scary because in 2 years, it'll be 20 years.
20-year anniversary. Boom, boom, boom,
I'm
boom,
not
boom.
okay with that.
You can just say it's the anniversary for the music, not for yourself.
Oh, I'm embracing getting older. I'm kind of cool with it.
So you're only 20 years old, dude. That's awesome, man.
I age
living the dream.
I age like I don't want to be young. Like, there's a Gogol Bordello song where he says, "I don't want to be young anymore," or "I'd never want to be young again," and I really relate to that.
So, I know I saw the music video for this for the new song, or from this new EP you had come out in January.
Right.
So you said there's a trilogy of this? Of
yeah,
three
it'll
EPs?
It'll be a triptych. So this is part 1 of 3. There'll be number 2 in July and number 3 in November. Yeah, rather than putting out a full length, which will be looked at, listened to twice, and then forgotten within a month. Because we don't have attention spans. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's just the reality of, I think, music listeners, old and young, but definitely younger, because, you and I came up where we had to listen to a tape.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to fast forward to the next. I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to sit and listen to the whole tape.
Yeah,
and it made you
yeah.
appreciate records. But now, and I mean, I'm a Spotify subscriber. I think it's great, but that removes the necessity of listening to the album as a whole. So to me, it's like, I'm not going to put out a full length if I know I'm probably not going to listen to yours.
Yeah.
And I'm just being honest. So, you know, let me make 3 separate statements that connect.
Yeah.
When you listen to all 3 of them, and you'll see there's a full statement, so that you can digest them in smaller segments rather than here's a full length, and then by April everyone's forgotten about it.
I noticed more recently I've seen a lot more bands doing EPs. Maybe, you know, it is because, you know, there was a person, well, I don't really talk to them anymore, but what used to drive me nuts about this person is you get a new album, right? And you're like, dude, check this album out, right? And they pop it in their car, and literally, if the song didn't hit them in 30 seconds,
they're done. Right.
They click to the next track, and you're like, whoa, wait a second, dude. Right. It doesn't really start going crazy until 50 seconds. You just literally miss the song. And they're like, well, if it's not catching me at 30 seconds, it's not worth listening to. I was like, dude, that's so wrong. You literally are missing out now.
Right, and that ties into the lack of attention span. I mean, if you think about, like, somebody... I met this real young kid, and she's like 20, which made me feel ancient. And she was talking about somebody that was famous on TikTok. And I had to think about that because, like, what is it?
Wait, there's people famous on TikTok?
Yeah, like, not only is that stupid, right? But, like, so you're talking about, what, like a 5-second, 10-second clip or something?
Yeah.
Like, that's how whittled down our attention span is, that's what's going to... People are going to watch that. Like, are you kidding me? So I'm not going to try to... you know, stress for 1.5 years to make a record just to have it forgotten 3 months later.
This is why I don't internet surf anymore, because when I was younger and I internet surfed, I remember that 3 hours felt like 15 minutes, and then you realize, what did I actually look at? Because literally I was looking for something good, and I actually didn't find anything, and I wasted 3 hours of my life for nothing.
Right, but also you and I were we're the I just thought about this. We're the last generation before cell phones and before the internet, so we had to sit through dial-up. Yeah. So really, that 3 hours, really that 3 hours wasn't that bad when you think about how long it took to load a web page.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's true.
If we want to get technical about it,
yeah. I guess that makes sense because now everything, since everything's so much faster,
right. Which is cool.
But I mean, it's cool, but then I feel like now people they don't take the time to actually enjoy what it is they're looking at. They just kind of like zip through it and then they're done. And
it devalues art.
Yeah.
It devalues everything in a way. I mean, my day job, I work as a chef, and, you can talk to the younger guys who are in their 20s. I'll be 40 soon. And you can tell the attention span is just gone, and it's just a generational. And I know I sound like I'm on my rocking chair in the front lawn, but it's just a reality because we're the last generation that had to work for knowledge. We had to search for a record. We had to go to the record store and be like, "Can you get me this thing that I can't find?" And now it's. If I need to look up something, it's in my pocket. My iPhone's right there, and it's done, and you have the information, and then you forget about it. So not only have we devalued information, we've devalued art, and we've devalued the attention span necessary to absorb these things. And how do you address that? So that's the only way I know how to do that as someone that creates stuff is to shorten what I'm doing a little bit at a time.
Well, so...
Long-winded answer. Sorry. That's a tumbleweed rolls through.
Are we in Texas yet? Let's see. It might be the whole Midwest. I don't know. Does the tumbleweed go that far? Actually, I didn't see a single tumbleweed when I was in Texas. But, there were some really cool bushes, and there was wind, and there was a really cool moon.
There's definitely a photo of me on tour with Red DESERVE when I was touring as their guitar player, of me holding a tumbleweed that we pulled over in, I think, Colorado. It's somewhere else.
Oh, Colorado, yeah.
We literally pulled over and ran across the interstate, stone sober, to go catch a tumbleweed because we'd never seen one because they're from Baltimore and I'm from Norfolk.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
when you're on the road that long, I think
Did you take it with you?
Yeah, we did. Like, we're rolling around for like another 2 months or something with this tumbleweed. Sober. That sounds like a drunk story. This is like the middle of the day.
The officer pulls you over. Excuse me, sir. What's with that tumbleweed in your car? Have you been smoking that?
Get out of the bed real slow.
Get out real slow. I can't guarantee that the tumbleweed won't come rolling out fast.
Cops are now shooting tumbleweeds. It's gotten real.
It's gotten real. It's real ridiculous. Anyway,
so the record, we have the record and the video.
So let's talk about these EPs. So now I know she came out with this at the beginning, the very first
January 1. Yeah.
Are you going to do the first of every month for each EP? Or?
No, it'll be so there are 3 EPs, so we'll split it up.
Yeah, one in the middle.
1, 6, and then
I got you.
One at the end. With videos, those are in the plotting stage.
Is it going to be videos for every single song on each?
No, there'll be
just one for each EP.
Unless somebody hands me a bag of money. And I can quit my job, then I'll do videos for all of them.
Yeah, or if you have like Thomas, I know he had one amazing fan that decided to
made one for him.
Just made one for him, and wake up one day, he's like, wow, and you got to say to yourself, that's pretty awesome, and you saved me a bunch of money. You saved me a bunch of time and money.
And dude, like, shout out to Thomas, because that dude does not stop working. And like, what's crazy about his work, and I won't go on a tangent, but like, he just gets better. Everything he does is just better every time, and I'm just like, man, I need a nap after this one. You know what I mean? Like, I wrote these 3 EPs over a year, and I'm putting them out this year, but it took time, and that's only.
Well,
he's like, I got a new album. 2 months later, I got it. Like,
hey, I told him I think you could probably put out a new album every week if you wanted to, but let's not get but then if we do that, then with like once again the attention spans, you think they're gonna listen to an album every week? Probably not.
Theoretically, I mean, with the attention spans being so bad, if you had that kind of level of caffeine intake, I was looking for good words, and you didn't have to sleep, then you could, and that probably would work.
Yeah.
He was a crappy artist, but Tekashi 6ix9ine, that crappy rapper that ended up snitching, he would do like a song and a video in the same week and be like, here's my new, you know what I mean? And that worked because his generation has no attention span. So like, here's the next thing. Here's you know what I mean? And it built his money. I'm too tired for that.
Well, to be fair, though, in 2020, I feel like a lot of people had a lot of time on their hands and probably could have listened to an album all the way through if they wanted to.
Yeah. It was one of those things too, like, that was 2020 was like, oh, this sucks, I gotta do something, and I'm glad that it kicked me in the behind to get back to doing HP, because there was definitely October 2019 I was like, I'm done with this, tired of it, tired of you people. So it was good to have time to sit. Obviously there's the amount of stuff that people did in 2020 and into 2021 now, as we see, it made people go, well, I've got time on my hands. So and I'm not doing anything.
So I was going to ask, so this first specific EP, it was more focused on the pandemic?
Right, and it was incumbent on me to not use the word pandemic.
Yeah.
Right, and like, I won't name names, but like, you see people like,
oh yeah, they just,
and it's like, okay.
You mean they market offer people's misery?
Yeah, like, cool. I mean, like, make your money. Like, we're all starving. But like, come on, like, nobody at some point, no one wants to hear it. So this is more of an exploration of like, this is me saying we caused this by messing with nature and messing with the planet and doing this and that, and so we've this is our fault.
Yeah. And
this is nature coming back and saying, you're an idiot, and this is what I'm going to do to you because you know.
Yeah, I feel sometimes like Mother Nature does kind of like have to, once in a while, smack humanity back in the head. Because
here's a typhoon.
Yeah.
Here's an earthquake. Stopping,
so as for the other 2 EPs, are they going to have more themed?
Yeah, so the next 2 are thematic, not about not the same subject matter, but the other 2 will have their own themes and their own very specific, different sounds to all three of them. So they are three separate statements, sonic statements, as well as societal statements. And then when you hear them all three together, you'll see that they have significant things in common. But no spoilers.
No, oh yeah. I figured I couldn't ask you what those themes were. But, so...
the themes are middle finger up.
Oh, no down? Let's see. I was going to ask you this. I know I haven't seen... so with... your the other projects you have like opt out. Are you planning on doing anything else with that?
That's the next thing actually. When I wrapped the third EP for HP at the end of over Christmas of 2020, that was the conversation I had leaving. That's the next thing. Everything is done minus guitar and vocals. So the next thing I'm doing is that, I believe, next month, middle of next month. And we'll just hammer out guitar tracks. It's all written, it's all done, and then we'll bring Matt in probably May, June, because our first record came out in August 23rd, 2011, and I cannot allow it to go past 10 years. So we're getting back on the ball, and I'm pretty eager. Having all that time sitting still, I'm like, man, I miss touring. Like, I miss eating crappy food and sleeping in front of rest stops. Like, I want to go back to that.
I think, I believe in my collection, I still have your very first self-titled one in my collection. I believe you made CDs for that.
Yeah,
it was
proper press.
That one, I thought there was, the other ones, didn't you, there wasn't, I was trying to think which other one.
Opt-out records? Or HinduPez records?
Of HinduPez.
Oh, yeah.
There's
a lot of them.
I was trying to think of another one. I know I had the first, I'm pretty sure I had the first one. Maybe the other one was
March of the Destroyers.
March of the
Destroyers. Was Halloween 2008.
Yeah.
I released that at Rocks here in Richmond.
That's what it was. Rocks. Whoa, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Cool stage.
Yeah, it was a cool stage.
You could look out above the crowd and see the street and people in the street looking at you like, why are you doing that? You should stop doing that. That's really annoying.
Still one of my favorite times with you, one of my favorite, was when I was with Myotis and you came with the cowboy hat on and the half painted, half black, half white.
That was that show.
It was that show. And that was such a great show. It was so much fun.
Vodka Rebels.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
And it was definitely a really cool show. It's very memorable.
I think it's important. The thing that somebody instilled on me a long time ago was nobody wants to see a band rehearse, and by that what they meant was, if like say you've got a band and you're like, hey girlfriend, come watch us rehearse in my room. Or whatever it is, like that sucks for her. Probably 7 minutes in. Let's be very honest about that.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna go do a show, you shouldn't show up in your street clothes. I'm sorry, you shouldn't do that. That's lazy. Take the time, take the initiative, try to give someone a performance. And to me, it's always been very important to be like, if I'm gonna do this, and I'm already doing something that's pretty far left anyway, in a genre that's pretty far left anyway, I might as well do this for real or go home.
This is a thing too, and I've said this to several people, what separates you from a lot of the other artists within the industrial noise or power noise or digital noise genres.
Digital hardcore.
Yeah, digital hardcore. And the thing is, I said, the difference between HinduPez and a lot of these other artists is most of them just stand there.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
He doesn't stand there. And I remember in the past you had cool visuals behind you.
That's coming back too.
But you had probably one of the fastest, besides Thomas and Purge, but had probably one of the fastest setups I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just a big... Before you had like a box you just slammed right on a table.
Yeah.
And
here we go.
And here we go.
that was I learned that from my first band, which was like and I'm glad that I was correct, at least in my mind later when I started like doing sound and doing booking for other bands. Was like I'm gonna try to be nice about this. I hate like running sound at a venue and a band like it's like two guys and they have like 17 keyboards and 4 drums. You know what I mean? Like that is so unnecessary. Like Here's the thing. It's 2021, right? I'm not going to lie to you. I made this on a computer. Or I made this with, and we'll talk about this later, but I made this with X amount of these analog keyboards, hardware keyboards. I'm not going to bring that with me. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not risking this thing, A. B, it's not going to sound as good as it did in the studio. C, I can put this on my backpack and roll.
Yeah.
And the sound guy is like, sweet, this took me 5 seconds. You know, you have to think about the fact that when you're performing somewhere, like somebody else is working.
Yeah.
So why make his life difficult? You know? Yeah. And I can play and be like, cool, thanks, I'm out. Put it in a backpack and I'm gone. Like, I'm too old to party. I'm sorry. I have to go home and go to sleep now. I want some tea.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Age is weird. I just turned 38 on the 23rd. It's a weird thing.
Well, congratulations. You're still with us.
Yeah. I was touch and go for a while there, but we're okay now.
So we're gonna go ahead and play one of the songs from your new EP, which is "We Deserve Extinction," and
it's true.
It seems like shouldn't this came out in 2020? No, I like how you didn't put it out in 2020. You know, I was gonna put out an EP in 2020, and for some reason I held off. Maybe it was just because of what was going on, but then I was like to myself, do I want to be one of those people that says, "Oh, I put out an album in 2020 because it's just like when we had." The attack on the trade towers. Everybody wanted to put out an album, for 9/11. Everybody's like, your album sales are gonna do better because
which is kind of slimy anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up. It's like, okay, so you're capitalizing off people's grief. It's one thing you capitalize off your own grief.
Yeah, I got plenty of that. I do that all day long, but I'm not gonna do it on somebody else's.
But no, not somebody else's.
It's also important. So, like, if you're going to make a statement, you have to. I think you have to resist the urge for the knee jerk.
Yeah.
Like, that's something you learn with age. Is like, you get into an argument with somebody, you don't immediately like say something hurtful just to be hurtful. You know what I mean? Like in this situation, like obviously terrible things happened over 2020, and I'm not going to put a record out in the middle of that. Yeah. Because A, that's cheap, and B, like maybe I need to think about what my statement is before I start running off at the mouth.
True.
Because I can't take it back. Mm-hmm. That's that whole, like, you can't take urine out of a pool. Like, you can't, nothing, once it's on the internet, it's there forever. Yeah, Somebody has archived it somewhere. Yeah. So be sure that your voice is you mean what you say, and you can back it up later. Or don't do it at all.
Well, another thing is, too, to me, to really get the gist of what occurs in a certain time period, for me, like, looking at 2020, I feel like you're not going to really completely be able to really feel and understand it until you're past that year. Yeah, and it's then, like trauma. Yeah, and then reflect back and really, like you said, it's kind of like you're kind of analyzing and thinking about it with a stronger conscience of what it is that you're going to say or why that affected your life. Right. Or what part of that time period affected your life. And maybe it's not exactly because of everybody else's reason.
It's just like going through trauma, right? Yeah. Like I've been in therapy the last year now, and like something you learn in therapy is that like once you experience a traumatic event, you need to have the time you need time to pass to analyze and understand it, and then go through the motions of getting through it. And that's with 2020. It was like the whole thing. Up to the very end was terrible. So I wasn't gonna, in the middle of innocent African American people being murdered by police, I'm not gonna stand up and go, "Hey, my voice matters." Yeah. Because it doesn't. Not right now. Not right now. It doesn't. Yeah. So I need to shut up, take 2 steps back, and let the thing that is happening matter more than me. Yeah. My ego is not as important as people losing their lives. Yeah. And a racist president. All the other stuff all the other things that happened that were also terrible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, welcome to the real world.
Anyway, this is a song off the record.
So we're going to go ahead and play We Deserve Extinction in no particular order. Or no particular way. Okay. Your choice of natural disaster or whatever people do in this world.
You should play Wild Turkey Sweat and Madness, because that's the video.
We'll
give them that.
Yeah, we'll do that one.
And I'll tell you the story about that in a minute.
All right. Here is Wild Turkey Sweat and Madness. and before that, of course, with our special guest, we played a brand new track from HinduPez, the song called Wild Turkey Sweat and Madness from the We Deserve Extinction EP 2020. Well, it's technically 2021. Why did somebody put that in here? They must have played your thing early. How did that happen? Did you give it out early? No, somebody, yeah, I think somebody, they forgot. I think it was because it was the first day. They were like, oh wait, what day is it? Oh, it's still 2020. No, it's 2021. They were still going in slow-mo.
We survived. Wait, put the one on. What a terrible year.
All right, let me do this PSA, and then we'll be on our way. Yeah, we're rhyming in the time. All right, here we go. So, this music seems to be fitting with this. I guess this will work. Richmond Food Not Bombs helps those in need of a meal. But it's not solidarity. But it's about solidarity, not charity. Food Not Bombs is an international organization devoted to ending poverty and war. And in Richmond, they've been providing a free vegetarian or vegan meal every Sunday for over 25 years. Meals are served at 4 p.m. Sunday in Monroe Park. And if you'd like to help, you can contact Richmond Food Not Bombs on Facebook or drop by Create Space RVA at 607 Wickham Street any Sunday at noon, because food is a right, not a privilege. All right. Now we're back with...
That's real.
It is.
It's super real.
It's a real thing.
I kind of put my toe in the water with that in 2000 in Norfolk. I did a little bit of that just to kind of understand. And yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah, I remember
that should be worldwide.
Yeah. I remember doing when I was the earlier part of when I started Gothic Lizard, and it was were you guys part of it? Death House Blues? The benefit for homeless people?
I'm not sure.
Were you on that?
Death House does a lot of...
I can't remember.
We do a lot of charity stuff.
Maybe you weren't on that one. I know there was a whole bunch of different bands from all over Virginia, but there was definitely more concentrated in the Norfolk scene. It was at that one place. I don't think that exists anymore. The one show that we did play together was with The Purge, Death House Blues, Gothic Lizard, and the Cemetery Boys. We all played together.
This rings a bell.
We did a show all together, but I think that was a different show. It was just a goth show that we did together.
Show to do a show.
Yeah. But it was at that place, and I can't remember the name of that place.
It's weird as you go along how many venues you play that sadly close.
Yeah.
I for a while I was like, I think I cursed venues because I would go play somewhere and you know what I mean, and like a year later it's closed. Like, man, did I?
Yeah. Well, there are still some still go. Fallout's still going. Yeah, I mean, and Carla's still doing the Witching Hour, which she hopefully will
killing,
37th's
still doing their goth.
37th.
Tap House is still doing where we did the
Tap House
machines. They'll be doing shows again once this insanity ends.
Do they still do stuff at the White Pony? Or no?
This is where you can tell I used to do a lot of chemicals because I'm trying to remember. I'm not proud of that.
It was a little small place in near a mall.
Oh, okay. I remember this.
It was a little small place. There was. You remember that one band?
It was.
What was it called? The Missing. Oh, what were they called?
But I remember the venue because it was inside a mall. And this is a thing that I kind of cringed.
It was like a festival. It was crazy.
Yeah, but we played on the floor.
Oh yeah, we played on the floor.
And I don't know if I headlined or I co-headlined, but I remember that I played.
Opt Out, I think, was on it too.
No, this was HP. Cause I remember
was it HP? It was HP.
I remember having an old school '90s projector that was like the size of a briefcase, and I had to put on a table.
And I remember it was like it had this little dude on a bike.
Yeah, that was old World War II era.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Not infomercials. There's a term I'm looking for that I'll come back to me. But yeah, it was. Old propaganda, yeah.
Old propaganda, yeah.
Back when I think I had like a 20 gig hard drive or something to do that, which was a nightmare. But anyway, in Windows Movie Maker, times is hard. This is why I hire the things you learn as you go along. This is why I pay people to come in and do artwork for me because there's something you just learn as you go. There's some things I have no business doing that someone else can do better. You know what I mean? Like, I should hire someone to do a video for me because maybe I might screw this up, or maybe I should have someone do my album art because maybe I don't know what I'm doing, and it shows. It's about that's why I've been working with J.J. Williams now since 2016 on various projects, because it's good to have the outside voice to look at you and go, yeah, that sucks. Don't do that. Because that makes you elevate what you're doing. It makes you do better than what you were going to do when you have a second, a third party to go, that's not a good idea. This is a good idea. Try this. And, got to drop the ego. Sorry, kids. Otherwise, you just make the same album over and over. And who wants to do that? I mean, it works for AC/DC, and that's fine, I guess. But they've made the same album for how long? Why would you do that?
Yeah. Well, I think certain bands, like if you take AC/DC and Motorhead, I think their whole motto was...
We leave Motorhead out of this.
Yeah. He's like, we'll leave Motorhead. We'll leave Motorhead out of this.
Yeah, they get a pass.
I think, it's one of those things with some of those groups where they go, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
But
and sometimes that works.
Sometimes it works. For certain bands, it works. Not for everybody.
That
it
worked
works.
for Slayer.
For
sure.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know. Slayer still had a couple albums where it was a little...
But I mean, for the most part, you can look at the entire body of work, and for the most part, go, okay.
I think if you took the one album, God Hates Us All, you could definitely tell Kerry King was super influenced by Slipknot on that album, especially not the first 3 songs, but anywhere from the middle to the end.
Right.
You were like, wait. You're
this is backwards. Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. I was like, wait, shouldn't Slipknot be influenced by you, not you influenced by Slipknot?
How rough is it that Tom Araya goes, man, I can't stand Kerry King anymore. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. Like, how obnoxious. Like, he started doing, what was it, 82, 83? I was born in 83, so their last show was, 2 years ago, their final show? Like, how rough is that the guy you've been in band with all this time, you can't stand anymore. You're just like, I'm good. I'm done. I'm out. Peace. Anyway, back to the real thing.
To the real thing.
Records and things, yeah.
Oh, were you going to talk about Faith No More? No, I'm just kidding. The real thing. And there's the picture of the person sitting on the toilet. The real thing. But, let's see. So as for, I mean, obviously we played Wild Turkey, Sweat and Madness. As for that song specifically, what is that in reference that you were just chilling with drinking some Wild Turkey and sweating tears and then going, wow, what's really going on? Why did things get really slow all of a sudden?
That's a 2-part thing. One was, I won't name her because I don't want to embarrass her, but a very good friend of mine in Charlottesville and I went on a 2-day bender.
Oh.
I'm not proud of that. That's what happened. It's okay to admit your mistakes, admit your faults. But we got tremendously, it was embarrassing the amount of things we consumed. And so we get this idiot idea, or not we, I get this idiot idea that we should go to a pool hall or something. For some reason, I was like, we should leave the crib. We've been in here for like a day and a half, and we should go see what's happening in the world. And we go out. I don't remember any of it. And we come back to her crib, and she lives at the top of this 40-foot hill, right? And it's kind of sketchy driving down there anyway. Obviously, we were in a lift because I wasn't going to drive in that condition. And so I get out of the lift, and she starts to get out of the lift, and I try to catch her, and she's a voluptuous woman. So I'm trying to catch her and not make it weird, and then we roll down this 40-foot hill. Oh. Like Jack and Jill style. I bust myself all to crap, and I lose my phone, I break my head. So that's the title. The other part was, and this is the serious part, was I noticed, and I'm very much guilty of this, when everything started to go down, with Corona to begin with, and then getting into the spring and, George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and all this, really serious, terrible stuff, a lot of people, and I'm including myself in that primarily when I say this, a lot of people looked around and went, I don't want to feel anything. This is so terrible that I don't want to feel anything, and I'm going to stay bent. And, I looked back at my, Instagram posts and stuff and went, wow, here's a post of me, drinking at 10 in the morning. That's not okay. I should not be doing that. And that was, that was a lot of people, myself included, just couldn't function, especially for people that didn't work. I've never been without a job longer than a month, ever. You know what I mean? I like to work, and I was out of work that entire time. I had nothing to do but think about all this terrible stuff. And what my personal stuff, which is neither here nor there, So it was, the title is this experience with this girl, but also a nod to what was happening to the people around me who just could not deal with the situation, how bad it was, and the response in D.C. with Trump not doing his job because he's a terrible human being. And so, you end up with the situation going, oh. So that's, the title is 2 parts. The video was my friend Matt Francis, who shot it. It's on YouTube, by the way. For years, going back to like 2005, one of my favorite things, and it comes from watching old footage of Shepard Fairey, the Obey Giant guy. I got this VHS tape back in like 97, I think, maybe 98, probably 97. My little brother got a pair of Vans. I don't know why. He wanted some Vans. We got some Vans. Who cares? I grew up in a town of 400 people, so going to a mall was like a task.
Yeah.
You had to drive 40 miles to a mall. That's how small my town was. They still don't have a stoplight. Anyway.
Wow.
We went to the mall, got a pair of Vans. The Vans gave him a VHS tape that came with it. And on the tape was Shepard Fairey doing his thing.
Wow.
Which he called phenomenology, which was go out in the middle of the night, plaster a whole bunch of posters on the side of the building. And the idea is people walk by that building every day and see nothing. And one day they go, whoa, what is... And now that's a pretty commonplace thing for even like big companies do that to promote a film or whatever. But I've been doing that since like 2005. I always make a poster by hand that I go out in the middle of the night with a staple gun or with, wheat paste, and I go do that. And I thought it would be a cool juxtaposition to have this title, which is deceiving, and you watch a video and it's just a couple of knuckleheads out in the middle of the night putting up posters trying to upset the community. You're all terrible. We deserve it, And that was so. It was fun. So that's the trio of what happened there with the video and the title and the sentiment.
I think in one of other interviews we brought this up before, which is very interesting. This shows the difference in time periods and how life has changed so drastically and how we become digitized.
Right.
Versus the analog world. I think somebody made a joke one time when I was at Guitar Center. Somebody was smoking a cigarette outside, and somebody came in with one of the e-cigarettes, and they're like, you want an e-cigarette, man? He goes, no, that's okay, man. I think I'll stay analog. And we were just like laughing. Oh. He's like, I feel the burn.
Oh boy.
But yeah, it was funny.
It's good that I can't swear on the air.
Yeah. So, I swear. You go sing All for One. But no.
I'm keep my comment to myself.
Yeah.
Go on, please.
So the funny thing was you bringing up about putting up all these posters and stuff.
Right.
I remember back in the day when you
had to do that.
When you were a band, you would put up flyers and stuff in the city, and poles would be just plastered with flyers. I mean, even if you go you think about like in L.A. or something like where
Major
the
city,
Sunset Strip or somewhere where that was the thing. You handed out flyers, you put it on their cars, and you plaster it. Somebody would get a bunch of glue and then
we faced it. Yeah,
and but a lot of us, roller. But I know in Richmond, a lot of us, we just took one of those heavy duty and industrial staple guns and like.
That's the video of us doing that.
Yeah, and that was the way you promoted stuff. And people, and maybe if we look at it in two different ways, maybe then it was oversaturated with people not paying attention to the polls because there was so many flyers.
Right, you don't notice
now.
It's come full circle.
And now, like if you do it now, it's super noticeable because they made laws where you weren't allowed to do that in Richmond and maybe other cities where
probably Norfolk too.
Probably because they were saying you were like defacing the polls. I'm like, well, you're not really doing anything to the poll. You're just putting a piece of paper that's going to get ripped off. So
in 2 days anyway.
If anything's left, it's just the staple, and I think it'll be all right. You already cut down that tree originally, and then you turn it into electric poles. I'm pretty sure putting a few more staples in it at this point, it's not really going to do anything.
If you live in that city and you're paying taxes anyway, you've essentially bought that pole. So shut up.
Yeah. It's like unless the pole is being knocked.
How dare you put paper on this thing? That's our thing.
Yeah, as long as it's not falling down and nobody's actually knocked it down, I think it's going to be okay. It's a temporary.
Right.
It's a temporary promotion.
Right. Somebody saw the poster because we shot it before the record came out. It was supposed to come out on the 1st and whatever. So like someone saw that around Christmas, I think, and they were like, this is dope, but what is this?
Yeah, no, it's funny, right? When I saw it, it made me feel like it was the 80s all over again.
Right.
When I was watching the video, I was like, wait. Are they putting up like flyers like in a row? Just going down. It's like that's real promotion. It's like, no, I'm gonna make it like where it's like a picture within a picture. It's like you're seeing the small picture, and then if you stand back further, you'll see the big picture.
It's also just, I definitely engaged in, when we really started to focus on Death House Blues, for example, we really focused on internet promotion, and I spent a lot of time kind of looking at the stats and how that works, and there's no way to really quantify if that works.
Yeah.
So from the same token, I don't even know if postering works. It might not, but at least there's like a physical element of me actually being out in the elements doing that. Whereas like I give Facebook this much money and I have no idea if it's working or if bots are seeing it or whatever. I'm not even gonna get into being paranoid. But it's just like, this is all I know how to do, so I'm gonna do the thing I know that seems to work, and it's fun. I can I get to hang out with my friends for a night and go do this thing in the middle of a pandemic. That was that's a lot better than drinking wild turkey and falling down a 40-foot hill. So, ow, my shoulder still hurts every now and again. I was like, oh my God, I killed my friend. Like I was convinced. I was like, oh my God, she rolled down on top of me. What if she? You know what I mean? There's that moment of, this is why I've got my life together, kids.
So which other song should we play? Should we play the Mother Nature?
Yeah, I like that.
Mother Nature's Revenge.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice family stuff, and it has a pretty. It has a pretty middle bridge. So no, it does. It's good. It's good. It's for the kids.
It's for the kids. I don't think either of these other songs have been played on this station, so that'll be cool. I had to play one that hadn't been played because obviously somebody took my glory away from the other song. So
I will say, while you do that, what was cool about doing this EP and with the other ones as well was this is my first time really using hardware analog keyboards. So it was just like, come in with a drum track. J.J. Williams has these synths, and he's like, go ham, turn some knobs, let's see what happens. You know what I mean? And like, the tiniest micro movement of a knob creates a different sound. I'd never done that because I've been doing stuff in the software for so long. So that was...
Oh, somebody did do this one.
Oh, that was rad.
It has to be Tommy. I know you did it, Tommy. I'm going to get you.
Thanks, Tommy.
I'm just kidding.
Love you, dog.
No, you're awesome. On the dog germs way, I'm pretty sure Tommy's the one that... He had to be the one to play this because I can't imagine. He's always like going, hey, I'm going to play this. It's going to upset somebody.
Good.
And if it doesn't upset somebody, then they're going to be really happy and be excited. And
my bandmate opt-out, Matt, he always says, music should be difficult. You don't like it, good.
But we're going to fix it in here because everybody put 2020. I'm fixing it and putting it to 2021.
We survived.
Yeah, so.
What a stupid year.
Somebody was jumping the gun. They're like, I'm going to play a day before.
One thing I did do over 2020 was like, I'm sitting here on the couch watching old Queens of the Stone Age footage on YouTube, being a bum, being drunk at noon. Maybe I should like get a bike and go outside and maybe stop being a disgusting human being. So that was one benefit that came of that.
Wait, so you're saying if you just go get a bike, it makes you less of a disgusting human being?
Well, I did actually ride it.
Oh.
That was... You do have to take it outside.
Oh.
I should have further explained.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Exert physical effort or become a blob.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you didn't become a couch potato. I gotcha.
At our age, you have to really work a little harder to not become a blob.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You gotta...
I don't have that 21-year-old metabolism anymore.
Yeah,
I'm upset about it.
You gotta boost it.
I want my money back.
So we're gonna play from HinduPez from his most recent EP, We Deserve Extinction. I'm sorry, don't cry or anything, but
we do.
But this is the song called Mother Nature's Revenge. You're listening to WRIR LP 97.3 FM Richmond Independent Radio. This is the Metal Box. And then, of course, HinduPez with Mother Nature's Revenge from the EP We Deserve Extinction 2021. Not to get confused with 2020, because apparently whoever did play this thought it was 2020. Maybe they just got stuck in that time capsule. But anyway, we are back with...
What a terrible time. Like, couldn't you, like, get stuck in 74 or something?
Yeah.
When did Thin Lizzy put out Jailbreak? I'd like to be stuck there.
Yeah.
Like, can I go there? They just made a documentary about that dude, about Phil.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I need to look into that. I want to watch that.
There was
watch the trailer. It looks pretty cool.
There was another. It was a metal. What was that metal band about? It was the singer of this metal band. Oh crap, more underground. And what was the band? Oh, I can't think of the band.
Was it the doc about the dude from Pentagram?
Pentagram. Yeah. That was it. Oh
it's
man, that was so depressing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's a bummer.
Super depressing.
I got halfway through the first time and I was like, I'm gonna come back to this, and then I came back to it like a month later and I was like, oh, this is gonna be an undertaking, and then watched the rest of it and I was like, that was.
Yeah,
I think I might have like turned reggae on or something.
Yeah. You know, like, I felt like the only person, the only band that maybe if they made one, if their life was actually that horrible, which it probably wasn't, but their music would probably have been more depressing maybe than that person's life. But I think that person's life was the actual lyrics to Saint Vitus, the band Saint Vitus.
Right.
Hey, this guy from Pentagram was actually living those lyrics.
Yeah. If you're listening, don't watch that.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor and don't do that.
That's up to you if you want to. I believe this. If you watch that, you won't ever want to think about living that kind of life.
Yeah.
That's
don't
horrible.
Drugs,
yeah.
Anyway, we're back. We're doing a thing.
So we got about 15 more minutes. This is the funny thing. When I do these interviews, they seem like they fly way too quick.
Yeah, especially if you're, like you and I know each other. So
yeah, we know each other. Yeah, it's like, we could talk about 50 million things and people would be like, ooh.
Why are they still talking about
Why? Just why?
You like that album art?
I actually do. Who did this album art?
So that's Chris Garcia. He lived in the hood with me in Norfolk. Not with me, but we lived in the same spot for a while, same city for a while. He did the cover for Abuse, and he did the cover for Porno Music to Kill To.
Oh, yeah, I like that one, too. That one's a really cool one. I like the angle at that. The way that angle was shot was awesome.
He's got a crazy eye, and he does, like, murals and stuff.
Oh, yeah, the Abuse one, because that one was cool, too. Yeah. Like, I mean, all your album covers have a different vibe to it, but I can definitely say...
Chris's stuff is
it really sticks out. It's very noticeable. But this one I would have to say by far, looking at all your ones, this one's the most like really super professional looking one. Right. I mean, like it really like it's almost to me this one really makes a super statement just looking at it.
Yeah, Chris is a beast, and apart from having done 2 other album art / covers for me, this one I won't get into what I told him about direction, but I said, here's my ideas, run with it. Yeah. And when he sent it to me, I was like, that's it, that's the one. Yeah. And what he did completely without my suggestion or direction is, if you look at the back of these bombed out buildings, that's when the Confederates tried to burn down Richmond. That's what that's from. Those are textures from that. Wow. He and I had not had that conversation. He just did that, and it's incredible. But yeah, Chris Garcia, he's at lastdeviant.com. He's hyper talented. I've done a lot of work with him, and he's shot a lot of my friends in Norfolk, and he's going to do the next 2. That's the plan. Because, if you... something about having thematics, you might as well follow through with the other 2 and, make it it's consecutive.
It's interesting because, I mean, I like the effect of this, too, of this album cover for the sheer fact is, even though it still says HinduPez with your little logo with the bomb dropping, but what's interesting is that you made, when this art was done, he made it where the actual title is the more focus point, not your name. Obviously, people know it's you,
right?
And
it goes back to like removing the ego.
Yeah. You've pulled it back. The distance is
right. What's the more important statement, the band or what the record is about?
Yep.
It's going back to whining about bands. You know, you go see a local show and it's like, come buy our T-shirt. It's $20, and it's just like the band name.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's
yeah. Like
take the time, make a logo, do something.
Yeah, you know what? One thing that really is rough now. You know, when I was growing up, I remember buying band shirts, and most of them had a front and back, right?
Right.
And they were usually pretty colorful. And you still paid what, I don't know, $10-15, maybe 18, depending on where you got it from.
Yeah, because we were getting them from record stores. There wasn't a Hot Topic or anything like that yet.
And then there was I know there was some. I get them. I used to get this from this one shirt. I think it was Rockabellium.
Rockabilia.
Yeah. I used to
Catalog.
When I bought like Metal Edge magazine or Metal Maniacs, they had always an ad in there, and I would just mark the bands that I liked, and then send in whatever, a check or you know, and then
no CODs.
No CODs.
You had either give a credit card number or the old school slip, or you send them a money order.
Money order check. Yeah.
I was just talking about the catalog thing because that was the thing that our generation did. Was you had to, like, if you wanted to find like, this is your, like, my favorite band, it was the Smashing Pumpkins in high school, and so there was one, you know, official live VHS, and then the rest I would just get bootlegs that some guy had taped some show off a cable in Germany or something, and for some reason it's $45. Wow. It's a different time. Now here's what's wild about those catalogs is when I was a kid, like when I was in high school, I guess I must have been a freshman. Maybe I might have even been in 8th grade. This is like 97. So maybe I was a junior or whatever, it doesn't matter. I was in high school. This kid that I knew was the son of a Southern Baptist preacher, and he'd been running this scam apparently for like a year, where he was getting getting tapes from the Columbia Records catalog.
Oh,
and he had amassed a massive box of tapes, and I guess because he was the one that always checked the mail, because he was the good Southern Baptist kid, they never got wise to the fact that he was buying secular tapes, right?
Yeah.
And then he finally got caught one summer. His dad went in his room, and it was like Slayer and Cannibal Corpse, but also like Wu-Tang and you know, and all this stuff. And he finally got busted, and they were like, "How did you pay for this?" And then it was a big scandal. So he took these shoe boxes of tapes to school, and he was like, "I'm selling all these tapes for $1." And I've been mowing lawns all summer. Me and my homeboy mowed lawns. Like there's no jobs where I grew up. I mean, it's a town of 405 people. There's no stoplight. There's 3 churches, and that was it. That's where I grew up.
Yeah.
And I looked at my dude, and we were like, "You want to split it?" And we bought all the boxes right then. We bought the whole. That was my education to so many things.
God.
That's how I learned about, you know, hip hop and metal and death metal and.
Wow.
First time I heard 9 Inch Nails, and that was...
You know, you brought up Smashing Pumpkins, and I'm not going to say this is some, like, telepathy or premonition or this and that, but you're going to laugh when I pull something out of my bag.
Okay.
That's what she said. But,
he's reaching in his bag. What is he getting in his bag?
This is...
I hope it's not a severed head, or I'll be very upset. Oh, he's got the Zero single. So this is one of my favorite things. My friend Stephanie,
very hard and heavy one too.
Yeah. So this is my favorite single. Really, it's an EP because it's
really an
songs.
EP. Yeah.
This was in a box set called "The Airplane Flies High" that my friend Stephanie bought for me, and it was rare even then. This was 2000.
Yeah.
And that was one of my first friends in Virginia, and we immediately got along because of that box set. Later on, when we did the Death House Blues record, Beer Batter Boogies, the conversation that JJ and I had about guitar tones was, let's pull up a bunch of old school Big Muff fuzz pedals and nail the Zero single tone. Yeah. And you have it in your bag. So that's I know that thing front to back.
Yeah. So
my favorite.
Yeah. So it's subtracting Zero off it. Which song do you...
Got to play God.
That's the one I like.
Got to play God.
That's the one I like.
God knows I'm helpless.
We're gonna end up playing this song. It's weird. You just brought because you brought up Smashing Pumpkins. It's like, and it's really weird because I just happened to I grabbed this from my collection. I was like, I'm gonna put this in here because I feel like this might be a song maybe to play tonight. But I didn't know that you really like Smashing Pumpkins that much.
My favorite band, my favorite band since I was like 13 or whatever. Wow. The first album I ever played obsessively that I owned of my own was Siamese Dream, and I would play it so many times. I had the cassette. I wore the cassette out. You remember the sides of the cassette would have like grooves on them because you'd put them in and out of the tape deck too many times.
Yeah.
And then the writing would disappear on it. And you got to write a Sharpie on it so you know what tape it was. That was me because I didn't have. There was no guitar store. There was no guitar lessons. I just had a guitar in my room by myself, and I just taught myself how to play guitar because there was nothing else to do. And that whole album is in standard, so it was like, well, this is what I'm doing with my time. This is what I'm doing with my life now. Taught myself the whole album. True story.
We'll end up ending with that. I want you to go ahead and get some of your plugs in. So where can we find stuff on HinduPez? Where's the places to go for people to check out your stuff?
So you can find HinduPez on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. I'm also on.
What? No,
our host is just like looking at his computer doing something.
No, I'm amazed that nobody's played the song "God" on.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
That is upsetting. We're gonna fix that now. Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I have a Threadless account if you want to buy T-shirts. I have a slew of merch you can buy directly from Threadless.com. I have a Tumblr page. I have all the things. I have a MySpace. Remember those? Probably not. It still exists. And if you go to YouTube, I did a lot of live streams over the summer of just me with my equipment doing live sets that no one really watched, but they're there in case you want to deafen your neighbors and upset your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever the case may be. And so there's 2 more records coming out this year. I won't tell you the titles, but
that would probably give away the
EP number 2
theme.
and EP number 2 and EP number 3 will come out this year, and I'm also working on an album as the Wrist Cutter. That'll be a full length, hopefully this year. We're gonna finish the Opt Out record finally, and if I really am on the ball, we'll do some more Black Mass Gathering singles. And I'm producing something right now that is really exciting that I won't give away at all, but when you hear it, it's gonna be bonkers. And I'll leave that hint for later. That'll be 2022. I'm thinking ahead. Always think ahead. Always be forward thinking.
So what we'll end up doing, since you have 2 more coming out this year, I'm going to do 2 more interviews with you for each EP.
Let's do it.
And I'm not sure what days those will fall on, but
we'll say it off the air.
Yeah. So, but whenever it falls,
we'll do the thing.
Yeah, we'll do it like the days right before it, or because I do my show every Thursday.
I'll give you the advance.
Yeah. You'll
have the advance when I show up on that Thursday. That's what we'll do before anyone else gets it.
So I just wanted to say, I feel like it always goes so fast, but I thank you so much for being here and taking the time. I know life is busy and
got to make time for my people.
Yeah, and I really appreciate it,
yeah.
And I look forward to hearing more stuff from you and as everybody else, and I know. As most artists, it's really exciting to see an artist evolve with years and 20 plus years. No, I'm just kidding.
We're getting there. 20 in 2 years.
I know.
20
it's
years.
like the thing. It's weird to think. It's like holy moly. I was like, I think back and I was like, wow, HinduPez, man, you right in there with Machine Shop Inc. Bands that they've been at it for a really long time.
Yeah.
They to me basically have got the corner of the longest running industrial band in Virginia.
Yeah.
Because they've been going forever, even though they go on long hiatuses.
Yeah, they're still,
they're still together.
Technically, right?
Yeah, they're still together. They haven't. It's just they just take their time. Josh and Tommy just take their time.
And shout out to those dudes because I've seen them live and they rip.
Oh yeah, they're always amazing.
They do not mess around. They really do the thing.
So here we are. Thank you for joining me. We're gonna play Smashing Pumpkins with God from the Zero single. You have a good night.